How to overcome your problem by rising above them. Welcome to Achieving Success Through Failure. Everybody has problems, big or small. We get it every single day, all the time. And the problem is sometimes they tend to linger and then basically change our outlook in life and make it gloomy. And the question is, what do we do? All we want is to get rid of our problems, but sometimes it doesn't happen like that. And this is the part that you have to rise above the problems. By changing your mindset and your perspective, we're going to talk about 4 ways in order for you to overcome them. So let's get started. The first thing that you have to understand is defining what is the problem. When faced with a problem, you have to understand what you're dealing with. You have to put it into writing and define what this problem is so that you can analyze it objectively and get a good perspective without your emotions. A lot of the times, your emotions basically cloud your judgment by going through scenarios and causing stress and anxiety, regret. All of these emotions tend to cloud your judgment. And unfortunately, overthinking a situation in order to have avoided it isn't going to help when the problem's already there. It may help in the future, but currently in solving the problem, it's not going to be something that's going to be very useful. So, once you put it in perspective, defining what it is, what factors affect it, what outcomes can result based on what actions you take may help you understand better the problem. Once you've understand what the problem is and what factors affect it, then we go to the second part. The second part is composed of 2 things. Things you can control and things you can't control. Those are going to be polar opposites. And what I want you to do is to focus on things you can control, because these are going to be the factors that can change your problem and actually help you solve them. By focusing your attention and your effort, if you put twice the effort directed only on the things that you can modify, then there's a higher chance of success by actually giving more effort in them in order to overcome and achieve the results that you want. Perfect example is pushing a car versus pushing a wall. If the car breaks down, you get some people to push it, it's actually going to move forward. Pushing a wall to actually move it is not really going to help you, and a lot of that effort will not produce real work. Once you've understand these 2 basic concepts, then you could start identifying which factors you should be putting your attention to, and then going through scenarios about possible outcomes. And from there are going to be things that you can be the one executing, or sometimes you need the help of other people. When you need the help of other people, then the focus of the effort that you exert is finding the best person to do the job for you, and then coordinating and have a better understanding. When you have someone help you who is an expert in whatever task that is, you want them to have good understanding of the situation by presenting to them what the problem is, and from there coordinating very well through an effective communication on what outcome you would want and having them help you achieve it. The third aspect that you have to consider to rise above your problem, once you've started this motion, and this is sometimes going to be a marathon, not a sprint, so you have to have consistency, is putting things in compartments, compartmentalizing. Because if you let a problem linger all day, all night, it will basically stress you out so much that your productivity will actually decrease and your judgment will actually be affected as well. By compartmentalizing a problem, you allow enough time in which you concentrate on the problem when it's time to actually discuss it, work on it, and then allow time to actually progress before going in it again, with or without the help of someone. Because doing something continuously or something that is not productive but is related to the problem does not help and causes only negative effects on yourself. And that's one thing that you have to understand. You have to live your life continuously because the problems will never go away. The fourth and most important aspect that you have to consider in problem solving is put it in perspective. Sometimes we see an avalanche of problems. And a perfect example of this one is a kid drowning. When you look at a kid who's like sitting down on the pool, sometimes when they turn to the side, they feel like they're drowning, but all they have to do is actually push themselves up and get their head above the water. And this is something that can occur to ourselves as well if we focus too much on the problem and don't rise above it. Because by rising above the problem, you get a very good objective point of view on both the problem, the possible outcomes, and the tasks that need to be performed in order to rise above it and succeed. So going back through the four things that you have to consider in order to rise above your problem is define your problem, understand what you can control and what you can't control, compartmentalize so that you can allow yourselves to live outside of your problems and only focus on them when you need to. And lastly, put it in perspective, because sometimes you have to accept a problem as it is and just go on and live and learn from it, rather than live a life full of regret on something that basically hinders you from moving forward. This is Paul Del Prado. I hope you guys liked the video. If you guys have any questions, comments, put it in the chat. Please click the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next week.